So come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. So, Guardian Cryptic, we did a live session today, and I recorded it this time, and I'm going to let that set for you right now. But just to give you a heads up, unless something comes up schedule-wise that prevents us from doing this on occasion, I think on Fridays at 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 6 p.m. Central Eastern European Time, we will go ahead and just do a live solve, which you can access on YouTube just by going to the Wind Down channel, and when we go live, you'll see a notification there. You can just hop on, you can ask me questions along the way, etc. And it's kind of fun. I really love getting to interact with folks. But if you don't get home until later, or it's just not available to you at that time to participate, not a problem. No biggie. I'm the Yank. I'm easy. So absolutely, just we'll record it and we'll upload it, which is what we're doing right now. So again, but it was an awful lot of fun. Got to touch base with some folks in Australia, and believe it or not, a couple of Yanks that watch every day on their lunch hour, because it's about noon there, right? 11:30 in Oklahoma, and one was in Ohio, which is 12:30. So it's really great to see that I'm not the only one over here trying to make my way through. But I got hemmed up on a bug. Apparently I got hemmed up on a bug that makes dye. I knew what the bug was. I knew what it did, but I couldn't remember how to spell it. So, spoiler alert. Anyway, so we'll close it out at the end at the same, but just so you know, just ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch, and we'll see you on Monday. Be well out there. Cheers. And hope to see you in the live session next Friday. Be well. So this one across, dictator broken by dismissal, rub salt in wound. I'm thinking this is the second, because see, we've got 3, 3, 4, and 2. I'm thinking this is probably going to be put the boot in. This looks like a put the boot in scenario. So I'm going to put that in there and see what we get. If we don't get very far with it, then I guess that'll just be one of those things. We'll just try to see if it'll work out for us. But issue hurdling boat in discipline with obstacles. And whenever I see obstacles or something like this, I always think to myself, this is when we're going to probably ask for a parkour. And that's an interesting thing that I've learned when doing the Guardian Cryptic. It is just such a difficult, abstrusely so difficult grid. I'm originally from Michigan, the Western Upper Peninsula, so I was not received kindly. Yeah, no, I love solving the cryptic, but it took me the longest time to kind of get the hang of it. So the sea monster finishing off Balearic Islands. And when we were just there last August, we flew from here in Germany down to Barcelona and did a cruise to Mallorca. And so I'm thinking we're probably got an orca here, because it says finishing off the Balearic Islands, and so I'm thinking this might be orca. So far it's working out for parkour, and I'm loving dead round. So I think we've got toast here, because toast, you know, I mean, if you touch my car one more time, you're toast, i.e. you're dead, and round. How about a toast? A toast to my friends from Ohio and Oklahoma. But yeah, I agree with you. There was a time when I'd rather be watching than solving these things. But after about 7 or 8 months now that I've been doing the Guardian crosswords, it's been getting a little bit better. So Old Money has Ivy League member in Clover say, and I don't know, I don't get most of that clue, but I do have enough here to put a halfpenny and a halfpenny. Yes, dear?
Is this a coupe?
It is a coupe.
Are these the ones that I had ordered that I thought were so cute online?
I don't know if those are the ones that my grandfather won in a poker game.
No, your mom.
But then those are the ones that you got online. But they are nice. If you want to make a cocktail with them, I'll make you one later. Sorry. Yeah, a toast. Cheers. My wife's coming in and asking questions about the crystal. I was like, oh, it's a coupe glass. Make a martini. Pressure on America if a shambles to all appearances, 5 and 5. So, spectacular drop as champion hits the canvas. All these arms held up. So, pressure on America, if a shambles to all appearances. To all appearances is making me think Latin. So, peer offering testament on seafood shortly. Shortly, peer offering testament on seafood. Testament NT. Maybe a quip on New Testament. So, but peer, I also think Peer Gynt, from Henrik Ibsen, the classical musical number. And if I had to guess here, one not drinking alcohol, tiniest amount of Cin-Cin spit out by duck. So that just tells me this is a Quaker, because Quakers notably do not drink alcohol, and we have tiniest amount of Cin-Cin, which would be the C that we've removed from quacker, which would be something, a quack, so yeah, that it's a stretch, but it's kind of where I think I'm going. And oh, my lovely bride is on. Cin-Cin, darling. Cin-Cin, my Shotzi. So now we've got a cue here, potentially, and so the peer offering testament on seafood shortly. I think we got to cross maybe somewhat of a double definition. So I'm thinking Peer Gynt, so maybe squint, and then a testament on seafood shortly. So I'm thinking of squint. At first, when I first started coming up with things like this, I thought that I was losing my mind. Like, there's no way that makes sense. But then you just got to put it in and then try it, right? Very soon, plague carrier brought a flame. A flame. And very soon. And so, play with leading character in turmoil. Case of denial in general. Now, that's what I was thinking. Exactly. It's just really crazy. Now, going back here to pressure on America, if a shambles to all appearances. To all appearances, I was kind of inkling towards the Latin, so I'm thinking prima facie. When I'm doing the New York Times, it's kind of a system. It's a process, and there's just certain words you learn and and of course there's certain words that you pick up in college or books, wherever, the History Channel, wherever you get your knowledge base, right? But it's okay. So carrier brought a flame. Here you kind of got to think outside the box all the time, and so carrier brought a flame. And a flame, what do we got down here? Oh, it's going to stretch out on us. So C20, oh, good Lord, I hate it. We have to jump all over the place with these. So play with leading character in turmoil. Case of denial in general. Okay, so play with. And I've got that T and that I. So, and I know this is a word we use in the UK to twiddle with something, kind of like we Yanks might more or less be. We might say twiddling, but we almost always say tinker, where we're messing with something or playing with something, we're tinkering with it. And so, I don't know yet. We'll go down and check this real quick. This is obviously asking me. No, here we go. Particular area, part of body, doctor showed foot. Foot. Okay, so that's probably a colloquialism of some sort. I think what we have here, brought a flame. I think this might be inamorata. Speaking of that, I coined a word when I was a much younger individual. In fact, I was an undergraduate, and I was an Elizabethan poetry major, i.e. Shakespeare. And I coined the word to describe Lady Macbeth. And I used the name Iago from Othello because he was so evil. And I called her the Iago Murata, and I've seen it. I've seen it on the internet. Someone used it. I felt so proud of that. The other term I've coined is yank slap, which is how I used to describe the feeling of losing out on a Guardian Cryptic. So I don't know what we got there, but Inamorata might open up. And if this is, say, see this THE here, I think. Spectacular drop is champion hits the canvas, so that's... See this particular area, part of body, doctor showed, and then foot. 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 I think this might be neck of the woods, which is also something I might have said while living in Oklahoma, Zephyrus, because, well, it was all about being in my neck of the woods back then, right? So maybe good to see message about humanity originally attributed to monastery. Grant that's secured, absolutely not for the French clergy. So for the French clergy, having curbed expression 1-0 ahead of an Italian team. So I need to get something to figure out which Italian team it is. I do follow football here in European language. Used up looking at new token for beer. Deal stuffed by the sound of it. So a deal stuffed by the... You hear that all the time in my neck of the woods, definitely. Exactly. And the trick to getting better at these, for me at least, is just being happy with the handful you get right. Exactly. And I am there so often. But lately I've been getting more right than wrong, and I've been like, yeah, so now all of a sudden my ego's kicked in. Deal stuffed by the sound of it. Maybe packed, because it does sound like it's stuffed. Ridge in Black Rock for insect, no idea. Used up primarily at new token for beer. The way these screens are set up, it is so different from when I'm usually recording. I swear. I can see the whole thing over here, but I'm looking at the grid I'm typing into right in front of me here, and I can see that the actual grid is there. That's so confusing to me. I'm gonna put in. I've got beer there. I'm gonna try Pilsner. By the way, where we live here in northern Bavaria, we are literally we're within inches, literally about an hour's drive from Pilsen, Czech Republic, which is where Pilsner beer was invented. Believe it or not, and very interesting. Party leader has admitted telling stories to lose the plot. So that's absolutely no help to me there. And having curbed expression, an Italian team, the only one I can think of that would be 5-5 would be Inter Milan. Milano. Sorry, I need to quit anglicizing stuff when I'm doing something that's calling for the Italian. Ridge in Black Rock for insect. And so, let's see. Sun features European article and reports. Squat, where food processor stored by operative. Squat. Wait a minute, there's something wrong with my spelling here. Excuse me, I was thinking I had something. I noticed that Pilsner's not right. Inter Milan. Okay, I guess that's what we're gonna get. It doesn't help any, but squat here though. Squat. Squat. Typically, I hear stumpy for squat. And so we've got reports, which could be relays. Oh, and I don't. This insect. I think this is Coach. The worm that makes dyes. Cochareal? I can't remember how to say it. It makes a red dye. In fact, I think it's where we get the crimson dye, like for, Roll Tide, that thing. So, but I'm not gonna remember how to spell it. I could try. See, Cochareal. Hi, Delphine. How are you? It's good to see you. I'm sorry. I'm so weird looking at the different screens and they're not set up as usual. But I cannot remember the name of this worm that they used to make a red dye. And Cochareal? I'll just put in. So I'm sure that's wrong. I'm probably just gonna lose that on that. But okay, so party leader has admitted telling stories to lose the plot. 3414. So I think we probably got A here. So it looks like maybe fly into a fly into a rage, maybe? I mean, you never know what you're going to get with these. It's just so much fun. It's good to hear, Delphine. I hope the weather is pleasant in your part. Going back up here to 12 across in your neck of the woods. Hope everything's going well. If I ever get to Perth, oh gosh, we're buying you dinner. You have been such a good trooper. Good to see message about humanity originally attributed to monastery. Okay, do we have any help on this one now? Spectacular drop as champion hits the canvas. All these arms held up. So are all these arms held up? I think we got a victory, perhaps, of some sort. But no, it's not going to be victory because we've got 8 and 5 on the clue, and yeah, I guess you can see that on the screen. So, so spectacular drop as champion hits the canvas. All these arms held up. What do we have here? Make sure, kind of check. Will claims Dick works near building site. And this looks like a brickyard to me. I don't know about you guys, but that all lines up. I just wish I knew how to spell Cochareal. Cochareal? But you don't ever spend... Victoria Falls. See how excited I get when I see something finally. That's how it would be if I ever played Wheel of Fortune. I'd be like, oh, I know, and then I'd lose a turn or something. Spin a bankrupt. Good to see. So we got 2 ends here to play with. Grant that's secured. Absolutely not for the French clergy. So the clergy, I don't think it has anything to do with the French. I think this may just be the canonry. Good God. Canonry in general. This is really a nice grid by Paul today. It's not too terribly abstruse or serpentine. My Shotzi tells me to find new words besides circuitous and obtuse when they do work so well for this grid, really, when you think about it. Credit given to journalists via bank. I don't know about a bank, but credit given to a journalist is a byline. So that I know. Afford to listen. But I thought I knew robust yesterday. And it turns out what I was seeing was not robust. It was locust. And I really thought I had that. I'm at fault for the clue. That clue is long. It's true. Yeah, but it is. Obtuse is a wonderful word to say. As a matter of fact, the first time I ever heard about it, I was an undergrad student at Texas Wesleyan University back in the early 90s, and we watched The Shawshank Redemption. And I'll never forget Tim Robbins telling the prison warden, why must you be so obtuse? And I'm like 20 years old, and I'm like rushing to the dictionary to figure out what that word was, and I loved it, right? And I owned it at that point, right? So, afford to listen to island. I'm going to stick with the island on this. I don't know. What do you think, Delphine? I think Isle of Capri. I think we should run with it and see. And, because you're an actual Australian, you kind of get the language, right? I feel like you might be our source of... we got a lot of Yanks here today, so we got northern Michigan / Ohio and Oklahoma here, not to mention Texas in Germany. So blue-nosed Republican in scumbag. I don't know about in scumbag. Blue nose and Republican could sound like a prig, in that being somewhat righteous and trying not to be sinful in that respect. I can see. I guess. I don't know. I mean, really. It just looks like it might be prig. Beastly and brave rule on ineffective banks. So beastly and brave, I'm thinking maybe leonine by definition. And good to see message about humanity originally attributed to monastery. And I don't think I'm seeing anything about the monastery, but I do think I see in here watchable. And I don't know, I can't move. I'm going to try to move this down to where y'all can see. And I don't know if it's going to do it. Yeah, okay, so I think it did. It'll move in a second, so I'm going to check all. I gotta click the right screen. Can you confirm? And so, yeah, I do not know how to spell coach whatever. I thought it was a coach rule. So what I'm going to do, you won't be able to see me hit the word, but I'm just going to hit the reveal that word and see what it is that we've got, because I honestly don't know. Cochineal. That's right. And they make red dye. Okay. Well, yeah, Paul, this was a fantastic grid. So, yeah, I think it does deserve fireworks, but I can't do them when I'm doing the live session, so it's awful. But I am recording this so I can upload it later in case others aren't able to dial in. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Coming all the way from Ohio, the Ohio. I just love that. My friend Adam Mays, when I was in the Army, and thank you, Delphine, he was a big Ohio State fan, and the first year I got out of the Army in 2015, I think, was the year that TCU opened up with Ohio State at Jerry's World, and it was just, it was so embarrassing. He was sending pictures on Facebook with him doing the horn frog thing. He was just like, oh, I look stupid, right? Kind of, it was awful, but very, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so we got the colors up. That's very cool. Delphine, out of curiosity, what time is it right now in Perth? I mean, I'd love to know if you wouldn't mind sharing with me so I can kind of get an idea. I really feel like I need a world clock on the wall behind me instead of an old defunct crossword grid I constructed years ago. But I really feel like I need a world clock. I mean, we've got people dialing in from everywhere all the time. You should see that. It's really crazy. So that's what it is. I just need to be able to keep a better track on that. I just want to say thank you all so very much for being here. It's just such a pleasure to get to sit and actually chat with y'all. I really wish we had a voice feature for me to actually hear voices, or maybe even, share faces and, like a Zoom call or something. That'd be even better. But y'all have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll talk to you soon. Delphine, au revoir. Be well. Cheers. I'll always be smiling, I promise you. Cheers.
Sell it to